Good evening and welcome to another scene in the living world of darkness. We start our scene in the magnificent lounge Salon Magnifique in French. That's the name of the place. And um, Theodore has just received a couple of guests. Well, he's sitting reading his newspaper, as he tends to do. And people coming in will notice that there seems to be less people than if you've ever been here before. There is a lot less people. Actually, there is quite few. But as you get in and begin to go to the back room, you will notice this man. He's just standing, and as Gwen and Jasmine, um, they will be greeted by this man. He has a bit of an accent. Bonjour. He will just bow to you. Please, come this way.
Thank you.
Gwen will smile and also thank the gentleman.
Uh,
Her ghoul and her bodyguard are outside watching, as they have been for the past few nights. Anything
You
weird
don't need
happens,
to
they'll tell
roll.
her.
There is a couple of people seeming to quite heavily nurse 2 cups of coffee. They do not look like normal patrons. They look as though they are here to protect this place or have a lookout. Um, and you see this guy. He leads you into the back room, and you will see that the back room is empty except for a person you recognize as Theodore. Ah, good evening. Welcome. Come. Sit down.
Curtsy to Theodore and sit.
Ah, Gwen. Yeah, he goes over and shakes her hand and gives her a little bit of kiss on the cheek. And it's just, good to see you. Please, sit down.
Gwen nods. She sits down, uh, just making sure she's comfortable. It's good to see you again.
Quite so. Any news? Uh, these are troubled times, but I might have something, but we'll see if other people join us. Um, does anyone else approach the place?
Yeah, there's this guy. This lovable old Irishman.
You will see this same person. You've seen him once before. A fairly young-looking person with a bit of a French accent. He will as well. Ah, Monsieur Spillet, please follow me. It is a pleasure. And he will follow you into the room, and Spillane will enter, and Theodore will get up again and just, Mr. Sheriff. Very well, very good to see you. Please, come, join us.
Jasmine will have to rise and curtsy to Sheriff because old-fashioned sire, and last time he had a shotgun. She will, however, look for a shotgun this time.
There is much to Jasmine's relief. No shotgun this time. In fact, he doesn't even smell of ash anymore. He seems a bit cleaner tonight, much more presentable, almost as if it were peacetime.
Oh, lovely.
A very chilling wind will fill the area as the German, which is Kagenbrunner, walks into this area accompanied by a new face. A new face of, well, you don't know his name, but I do, Professor Brembo. And he lets himself be led deeper into the room where the eloquent guests are.
Again, you will meet this person. He will just look at the two and just, good evening. And he's not. He's just. So, anything I can help you with tonight?
I am here to visit Mr. Theodore.
Ah, very well. Please follow me. And he will do the same, and he will open the door. And the two will enter the room. He will close the door after you. And Theodore will get up. Ah, Mr. Cadenborner, very good to see you. And he will shake his hand. And I do not believe I've been introduced. Good evening.
Standing behind Lucius is a man who's exceptionally tall. He's about 6'5", and his clothes seem completely out of place in this setting, era. He's dressed quite extravagantly, with what seems to be quite high quality jewellery. His brown hair sort of flops over his brow. Although he's quite large in size, he doesn't seem to be rather very intimidating in any way. He affixes Theodore with a pleasant smile and bows his head, but then waits for his companion to speak first.
Mr. Theodore, please let me introduce you to a member of my house, Professor Arthur Brandon. Mr. Brennan, let me introduce you to a master of harpies, Mr. Theodore.
Theodore smiles.
A pleasure, a pleasure. He extends his hand, which is gloved, towards Theodore.
And another gloved hand meets his, and he's just, oh, yeah. Very good. It's always a pleasure to have one of the pyramid, well, one more pyramid present in our city. It fills us all with
I dare
sense
say
of
that
safety.
I dare say that you've caught me in a little bit of a bluster. I've only just arrived, but I've heard about your impromptu scenario here. He indicates to around the bar.
Oh, yes, yes. We had the, well, incident at the former Elysium. And, well, I think that socializing and, well, getting the news around in a reliable way is a very, very important function. So I take my job, as everyone here does, my job very seriously. And thus I felt compelled to throw this little soiree, although it is not perhaps the best solution. It is the best solution that a couple of days of warning can bring.
Please, may can I excuse? I need to introduce at least one other person in this room. Professor, this man here is our current sheriff, Mr. Samuel Spillane, esteemed member of Clan Ventry. Mr. Spillane, Professor Arthur Brennan of House and Clan-Meyer.
Pleasure to meet you, Mr. Brennan.
Arthur claps his hands together excitedly. Oh, marvelous, marvelous, Sheriff! I actually have something for you. He looks to Lucius. It can wait. It can wait till the pleasantries have proceeded a little more in the evening. But I have something for you that I think you'll be most interested in.
Wow. A good and cultured individual. Well, that means.
Just one more. I'm sorry, this is not my strong suit, really, Professor Brennan. There is another member of the Harpy Corps around at this moment. Please let me further introduce Miss Gwen O'Connor. She is also a member of Clan Ventry and is also a member of the current Harpy team, as you used to say.
Gwen gives a big smile and gives a nod, extending a hand towards Mr. Bronwyn. If he should decide to take the hand, that's his choice.
He takes her hand very gently in his quite large hands. He delicately takes her hand, and he bows, almost as if he's going to kiss it, but he doesn't get that far. You know, he just sort of bows down towards her hand. He says, "Madame Harpy, a pleasure."
Likewise.
And then, last but not least, a new member in our group. This lady, beautiful lady, I might say, by the name of Jasmine.
You're too kind. She'll rise and curtsy first to Gwen and then to Arthur, because she hasn't yet had the opportunity to show her respects to either.
Arthur gives Jasmine a bow and a smile, sort of extending a kind of I don't know. He's got kind of a friendly face. He gives her quite a soft look, as he does to everyone. A gentle look, smiling around the room.
Introductions are made. Good to see more and more people. In these trying times, well, I do have a thing which I would want to speak. Say to people here, we have, well, with the addition of the professor here, quite a few new faces in town. I can vouch for some of these individuals.
Lucius leans into Gwen and asks if we're allowed to smoke one.
Gwen smiles and wonders if she is, because this is a client establishment, it entirely depends on whether or not they allow smoking.
Wow. Theodore will just say, as a side note, as he's speaking, yes, you can smoke in here.
A deep sigh of relief, not by air, but simply the old body language of Lucius just goes from very tense to immediately relaxation as he takes out his carton of cigarettes and starts lighting one up in the moment he got the green light.
Now, a person known as Nikki was, well, by me and two other people here, was three actually. Seemingly a member of Clan Gangrel who has kept to herself, but we recently met, and I can vouch that she is not affiliated with our very noticeable enemy at the time. And likewise, Jasmine here is a new face. Also, I can assure you all that she is a person who is indeed aligned with the Camarilla. And further, there is two others, a Bruja and a Russian fellow. I believe his name was Alec. Yes, that's the name. Him and the new Bruja, I mean, well, while I cannot necessarily vouch for them in the same way, I can, however, say that the Bruja, Chloe, I believe her name was, are an associate. I did not pry, so I do not know if she is a direct childer, but she is associated with Mr. Chad and Tad. So.
I I must extend my condolences for the recent misfortunes that have befallen this city. But with an influx of new blood, I think that we might be able to thwart the troublesome, irksome Sabat for good.
Indeed. If only we had such a strong foundation as Clan Tremere everywhere in the world, it would be a safer and, well, better world in many ways. But, regardless, these people are to be, well, given the same courtesies as
When
normal.
you say you want a great foundation of Tremere, Lucy's going to roll bullshit. I mean, perception. Let me see what I can do, because, yeah, nobody ever said we want a great face of Tremere. For obvious reasons.
Well, he meant the Great Pillars of the Camarilla, which is the Tremere, but...
Don't worry, it's perception, empathy, it's not many dice. But Lucius will do it anyway, because, well, you should never really trust someone who says the Tremere are great unless it's Tremere, and then you know it's bullshit.
Okay, so you're rolling perception alertness, or perception empathy?
Perception empathy, yes.
Well, then I'll have to roll. You actually, wow, okay. Oh, the dice are the dice. You can tell that there is something in there that he actually means. With you have one success over him.
Yeah, one
Because
success over you.
it's you also get that it is a bit rehearsed, but it's rehearsed in a way that he knows what to say, but you get the sense that he actually does mean it in some way. It seems
Well,
somewhat
Lucius
genuine, actually.
Lucius will not say anything, obviously. He would never break etiquette. But he will remember what he said.
In the spirit of new beginnings, I have something here for our good sheriff. If he indicates to Theodore, if you will give me permission to present it in your...
It would be a crime for me to stop such a splendid initiative. Please, go ahead.
I must forewarn you that it is it is an item crafted by myself that is I was specially made for the sheriff. However, it is by me producing it, I do not wish you to feel any way threatened. I am not. I will just show you. He stands up, and he just sort of flares back through his giant coat. And he's got this leather gun holster. And he takes his coat off, and he takes the gun holster out, and presents it carefully over to Mr. Spillane.
Oh, sorry. Is it so was it a package or was it?
It's a gun inside a holster,
Cool.
like a revolver pistol, as far as you can tell so far.
It's a big revolver.
Yeah, it's big and it's heavy.
Sam approves.
Sam checks the gun.
Yeah.
So you get a conversation gun. What does he say?
Lisa, do you want me to explain the gun?
All I need to say is that on the holster it has a shamrock.
Nice.
Does Splane looks at the gun?
Yeah.
The gun is a revolver who has shotgun shells. It's +8 damage.
old Sam looks as if it's his birthday and Christmas came early. He will take the gun and kind of examine it carefully. You know, he's obviously very, very intrigued, very curious. It's almost like this is.
Must say, I think I've gotten the wrong idea of you. And he looks over to the professor. Just, well, I mean, a gift's a gift, but not really what I'd imagined. But
Jasmine will,
And it ain't even my birthday. I must say, I appreciate this a great deal. My sincerest thanks.
Jasmine will keep her eyes on the gun and the sheriff. Almost as if she's feeling slightly nervous, her stool might edge ever so slightly back from the table.
My sheriff, with this gesture, we as Krog-Meyer would offer you our full support in trying to fight our enemies. So please accept our gift as our clan's devotion to getting this issue solved and resolved the way the Camarilla does.
I could not appreciate and agree with that statement more. But honestly, I really appreciate the gift. You didn't have to do such a thing.
Arthur sort of gives a little sort of embellished bow, beaming with pride over his work. He seems just as pleased to give it as Spillane to receive it. As soon as he sees the item, his eyes sort of light up and dart with excitement.
He's twirling that gun like a mofo. He's loving it. He'll eventually put it back into its holster and kind of, you know, strap the holster to his belt or whatever. And he looks quite pleased that he is now more heavily armed than he was before.
As the impromptu Christmas Eve is happening for Spillane, at least, another person arrives. Or does. Maybe not.
I'm sorry, I didn't know it was live already, so I thought I'm just not gonna bother.
No.
But okay.
Can't escape now. You cannot escape.
I can't escape. Yes.
Put them many windows.
Join us.
Okay. In walks a young-looking, dark-haired woman. She looks around, seems a bit overwhelmed by all the people.
You would have been told that this place is a thing, and you should ask for Theodore. And a young man with a bit of a French accent has led you into the room. And you're being let in, and Theodore this man will get up and just, good evening. He will go away from the group for the moment. He'll just.
Lucius will stand up from his seat. A lady enters the room.
Yeah, I was just about to say the same thing. They both stand up simultaneously.
Good evening. I do not believe we have been introduced. This must be rectified. Very, very good to meet you. My name is Theodore Williams.
Hi. Greetings. My name is Lucy Smith. I'm sorry, I'm not accustomed to this big crowd.
Quite all right. Quite all right. We will do our utmost to make sure that you are comfortable. I'm quite comfortable with crowds. He smiles. Yes, of course. I am the master of harpies, and well, since you've come here and asked for me, well, I suppose uh, um, I am sorry if this is a bit straightforward, but um, you do realize some of the things going on in town, and although this is can be considered a breach of etiquette, I would have to ask you what your family association is.
Um, I am of Plantoriador.
Ah, okay, fine, super. Um, well, then there is a woman here I think you should meet. Jasmine?
Delighted.
Oh, yes, please, this is Jasmine. She is, you are the two of your family. And Theodore just smiles to the both of them and goes over and sits down.
And yeah, Lucy will walk over to Jasmine and offer her hand.
She'll rise, take the hand, and dip a curtsy and indicate, "Will you sit next to me?"
Oh yes, thank you very much. She'll sit down. Her hands she'll place it on her knees as she looks around the room, a little uncomfortable still, but happy she found at least someone to sort of belong to or belong with.
Uh, well,
Lucius is still standing, and although you take a seat, he takes a step forward and gives you a bow, a nice, not too deep bow, just a nod of acknowledgement. He says, "Mein Name ist Lucius Kaltenbrunner. Ich bin a member of Housing Clan Krog-Meyer. A pleasure to meet you, Miss Smith."
Yes, apologies. She rises again and holds out her hand. Lucy Smith.
When Lucius takes your hand, you will feel a very cold grip.
Oh, she giggles at that point as she really didn't expect that. Sorry.
This is our sheriff. Have you met Mr. Samuel Spillane by any chance?
I'm afraid I haven't had that pleasure yet.
At this moment, Lucius looks at Gwen, since this is her job, and he feels awkward as it is.
Gwen looks around, looks at Lucy, and then smiles and says, "Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Lucy. She points to herself, I am Gwen." She points to Sam, and that there is Sam. We're both the clan of kings.
The pleasure is
And
mine.
it's a great pleasure to meet you. And she looks at Jasmine as well, as she hasn't said it yet. And you as well, of course.
Jasmine inclines her head, acknowledging this, but she's a very junior vampire here, so she'll keep fairly quiet.
And, Lucy will probably head over to the sheriff because it's only polite to introduce herself there as well. She'll hold out her hand and bow her head. Gives her name again.
Lovely to meet you, Lady Lucy. And he will bow down and kiss her hand because he's going to be a proper gentleman and give special treatment.
She would probably blush if she could. You can clearly see that she is a little bit uncomfortable at that. Bats her eyes a couple of times and takes a step back as soon as she can, as soon as it's polite to do so.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, yeah, he doesn't linger or anything.
Yeah, Arthur smiles in amusement at this scenario. He seems to he sort of seems to somewhat change the dynamic, and he observantly smiles with amusement, and places his hands on his lap.
Well, as I was saying before, we have a lot of new faces. Yet a new one. It is a genuine pleasure to see so many faces in town.
At this sudden silence, Lucius will actually search for something, and when he finds it, he pulls out a set of business cards. He takes one of that set and hands it over to Lucy, and says, "If you ever need to get in contact with House Tremere, here's the business card." And on the business card, it reads he's a contractor.
And because he's a Tremere, I bet it's a premium rate number.
Do you say that out loud?
Goodness no. I'm not suicidal.
Sorry, I didn't.
How to get in trouble in Elysium. Lesson one.
I did not lose response because of laughter. I did not lose response.
Lucy will accept the card, checks it, and she actually accepts. I'm afraid I don't have any cards yet, but thank you very much. And as soon as I have any contact information, I will gladly return the favor.
Sorry, I did not hear Lucius' response at the first time. In character or not?
No, I'm not saying that in character. I'm not crazy.
Ah, too bad, if only. And then I want to test out my new weapon. Then Lucius will just nod and say, "No problem. I will wait for your business card as soon as you have made one. I have a great card maker if you need one." And then he just takes a seat back again and looks at Arthur.
Arthur has turned his attention to Miss O'Connor, and he says, "I do believe, lady, that you have a profile of some sort. I've very briefly heard your name through a contact. Do you have many connections in the city?"
When smiles and says, "I've done a few things for the city. My expertise is my interests lie in the media and the medical sector."
Most interesting.
But she kind of looks around looking at the other new people, and then returns her gaze to Arthur. Which, if you should need assistance in these times, well, our resources are always available to help the kindred of the city. Or at least mine are. I can't speak for anyone else's.
He smiles. Very good. Understandably, we all are all notably out of place and a little bit uncertain and uneasy in each other's company. He indicates to Spillane and perhaps to Lucius and Gwen. Some of us have had time to get to know one another, and some of us are new. But I believe in time and with communication, we can work together to form a mutually beneficial bond that will strengthen the city's resources.
Gwen nods at that. I'm hoping to be able to open up my theaters again. Right now, well, they're known by people, so, well, we're not going to meet there yet. Not quite yet. But they are amazing shows. If you ever get the chance. They're some pretty awesome. We have some awesome actors. I do have a couple that are my favorites.
And I can vouch for her on this. She does actually have quite a few very talented individuals working for her. Well, working for her. In some sense.
Hi, I've been to some of her shows myself. I find excellent high entertainment. He, as he does that, he kind of claps his hands and rubs them together, as if it all kind of almost comes across as if it's like a weird mixture of enthusiasm and flagrant scheming, but he's not actually scheming. He's just being very complimentary to towards Gwen and her theatres. I'm run in such circles myself, but I've got my own little spheres that I run down. Just ain't Broadway.
I've always dreamed of Broadway. Sounds very nice. Never been there.
You've never been. Now, that is surely a crime. Would you
They asked them, where are you from before ending up in this giant city that indeed never sleeps?
I come from the north, like not too far away from New York. This is a smaller town.
Oh, fair enough.
Well, you
but
decide to leave then. Sorry.
If you have not been to Broadway, you must allow me to at least show you some, at least some of the sites. Maybe a show?
Oh, that would be amazing. I would love to.
Very well. Very good. Very good. Please, and he produces a blank card. It's like a business card, but there's nothing on it, and he writes a number on it. Please, here. You must know. Well, yes. Just leave a message, and we can find a date for. Well, I mean, if you are of the clan of clan of the Rose, and it's some way it must be a crime for you not to have seen Broadway. It is quite an extraordinary place.
Thank you. I will be so grateful. That's so amazing. Thanks.
No, think nothing of it. It is my, duty, my job to facilitate information and, well, information of our society and in general. So, think nothing of it.
Miss Smith, may I ask, why did you decide to leave that northern place?
My sire thought it was a good idea to broaden my horizons, and I really always wanted to see New York.
A good reason as any, so I suppose. Just very, maybe very
Unfortunate timing.
Unfortunate timing. I was looking for that word. Thank you, my sheriff. Unfortunate timing.
Well, then again, apparently, she's not the only one. In a way, I would say that all of us have inconvenient timing in that sense.
Well, then that's your right, Mr. Theodore. This you are right. And we could use anything and all the help we can get. Still, excuse me for being a little more investigative than I usually are. And this goes for you as well, Miss Jasmine, whatever your surname is.
Well, we cannot fault you too much for it. It is, after all, your job.
If I may, my friends, there is no such thing as unfortunate timing, only unfurnished opportunity.
Well spoken. Well, I shall have to remember that one. Very good.
He smiles at Theodore. Perhaps, gentlemen, we could make an evening of this affair and not leave the other ladies out and all visit the Broadway together.
A capital idea. I'm sure Gwen here can help us.
Did Theodore just use the phrase capital idea?
Gwen smiles and
That sounds lovely.
She nods. I'm sure I can arrange something. She looks in her purse, like rifling through it. There's some rustling of paper. She pulls out 3 cards. They don't necessarily have a business name on it, because she hasn't really given people that. But they do have a number. She passes these 3 cards to the 3 new people. She says, if you need to get in touch with me, by the way, it's a bit faster than trying to play phone tag with the sheriff or Mr. Theodore.
Why, thank you. Jasmine will slide one of her own cards back.
Gwen will accept it and kind of put it back in her purse.
While Jasmine's taking the opportunity to stash away the card she's just been given, she'll notice that Lucius has finished his cigarette, and she will, without making a big deal about it, just slide another packet of cigarettes across the table towards him.
Oh, Lucius doesn't smile much, but if he could smile, he would smile just because of that gesture. And indeed, this suggestion makes him indeed take another cigarette and smoke it.
Hey, what a wonderful idea. It's been such a long time since I've been out about from the town with the pals. A great way for us to get to know each other. He seems to be super, super excited about this.
Well, it would seem it is official. Lucy, I am sorry. It seems we will be having a lot of company, but well, we will get to see it anyway.
The more the merrier, right?
Quite so, quite so.
Significantly chaperoned. he says, giving Theodore a slight wink.
Well, let's not
Obviously
make
teasing.
let's not make her any more uncomfortable than she is, the young dear. He like fashions like a genuine smile, and he's just anyway. You have to excuse me for a moment, and Theodore will just get up, and you can hear someone is talking, what you think is Italian, to him as he opens the door, and he just goes out of the room.
Sounds like we've got a splendid evening lined up for ourselves. Although, Lucius and Mr. Spillane, I would appreciate a moment of your time each at some point this evening.
Don't worry about it. I'm sure I can make time for you.
And that goes second for me, ma'am.
Thank you.
He kind of pats her on the shoulder. Not with a gun this time.
That's a reassuring thing.
There is still a very heavy shotgun shell-filled revolver in his holster, however.
Yeah, Jasmine seems to be really uncomfortable around guns.
This is not the correct sheriff for you, then.
Well, if you, ladies and gentlemen, will excuse me, I have a important appointment that I must attend. As more formal introductions must be made to senior officials in the city.
I assume I need to accompany you? Or will the regent do this as well?
I believe I can find my way if you wish to stay.
Well, at this moment, I am enjoying myself, but I wouldn't like to keep the clan waiting. I will join you.
Apologies, but it's very embarrassing, but can someone tell me where to go to make the other formal introductions?
I also haven't had the opportunity to meet the prince yet. I gather now has not been a propitious moment.
Theodore has entered again, and he just catches the glimpse of that and just, by the way, well, with so many new faces and with some inquiries to our prince has assured me, the Dagger, when I met him, that he will get to he will see to all the necessary formalities when things have come to a more stable situation. You don't need to. It's as though Theodore just remembers something that happened not too long ago, and he just has a moment where he's just a little unsure, but it passes very quickly.
Okay. So we get notified?
Yes, I will. When the prince contacts me to make these arrangements, I will make an announcement, and you are all expected to attend a special thing. I mean, it will make a lot more sense since you are, well, just this influx that happened so suddenly. There are so many of it. We will hold a Elysium with the prince. Introductions will be made. I hope this will be agreeable for all.
Indeed.
Of course. How will we receive the announcement? Or are we supposed to come back here?
Carry a flying monkey will deliver the message. I'm kidding. By text? Or do you have an address you would like a letter delivered?
Mm, right, a text, yes. I think that would be best. I do have an address, but it's only temporarily, of course.
As unfortunately it is these times. But yes, your phone number, he just looks down. Yes, I will send a secure message to you and to everyone else when that must must be done. Of course, you all understand that he has many things to attend to.
Of course. Thank you.
Miss Smith, may I call you Lucy?
Yes, please.
Lucy, I believe we also need to meet our Primogen at some point. Uh, I understand that our good friend Theodore will arrange that as soon as possible. In the meantime, I think you may have met as many ranking members of the Five as I'm aware of.
I see. Thank you. So, good to know. Do we have a name of our primogen in this city? I have not been informed of one.
I don't know it yet myself, I'm afraid.
Lucius will lean in and say, "It's Miss Selina."
Selina.
Yes.
That is a very beautiful name.
Oh, she's quite lovely.
Lady Selina Whitaker is what she'd like to be called, if you want to be formal about it.
Of course. Do you happen to know if she likes if she has a preference for a gift?
Well, I could tell you, we should get together sometime and talk about the overall politics. As soon as you've met the prince, I'd be happy to instruct you in any way I can.
That is very kind. Thank you.
Well, it seems that conflict brings out the very best in us. Theodore smiles as he looks out to the people and just says, well, I'm afraid that I have something I must attend to. You are free to stay, but yes, what I have said before, this place still accounts. Well, still is, in fact. I will hopefully um, acquire a more suitable location soon, but given the state of the city, it might have a bit of a uh, long period attached to it, I'm afraid.
Well, thank you for hosting us tonight. I would be grateful for a moment of your time if you could spare it to give me a call over the next couple of nights.
Well, I'm not in a rush, but if you have something you wish to speak with me, we can do it fairly quickly. We can. And he, please. And he just leads her to the door and, well, to another door, to a back room, and just, please.
Meanwhile, Professor Brennan will bow to everyone and excuse himself from the scenario.
As Mr. Brennan leaves, or Professor Brennan leaves, Lucius will leave as well, because I believe that's etiquette, right? Oh well.
Gwen will excuse herself before looking to the sheriff, saying that she's looking into a few things with Mr. Lejour's. She's got to get to it. She bids everyone good evening and smiles and exits.
And as people begin to leave for their respected homes and other business this evening, unless there is, of course, anyone who needs to say or do anything else, this will be the moment that we end our scene. Then it will be that. Yes. Thank you very much, players, for playing, and watchers for watching. Good night.
Good night.